First of all, my name is Lisa. I'm a First Nations. I come from a First Nations called Ochis First Nations. It's up by Rocky Mountain House. First of all, I would like to share a little bit of my past history here with trying to honor my sister's memory. I was one of the families that lost a sister to a tragedy. She was murdered by Robert Picton. That was his last victim, and other than that, how it affected my life. It affected me very, very harsh. It's not an easy thing to go through, trying to go through your healing journey. And it took a lot out of me. It took a lot of my energy, and it took a lot of things away from me to try to move on with my life. But it's been going on to 13 years since she's been gone now, and I walk with it every day. And especially of the organizations that they have like this with Walking with Our Sisters. When I do come here, I find it very peaceful and quiet. I find this is where I come here. This is where I come to get my healing too. I come to honor my sisters as well as other women. It's a very good place to come when you're going through a lot of pain and hurting, and people to talk to. It's a very good place to be when people that have lost their loved ones to tragedy, murders, and especially places that they have like this. I'm glad I came here. When I do leave, I don't want to leave. I have that feeling I don't want to leave from here, and I want to stay on and continue my quiet time being here. It just feels this is the place. This is the place where I want to be to share my painful stories and how it helps out. With your peaceful life, trying to communicate with your inner life, and it's just a lot that I have a lot to say, but I'm kind of feel sad another way because the organization is taking off tomorrow, and I like coming here. I like coming around here, spending time. It makes me feel very good and peaceful. So today I'm kind of feeling sad because it's the last day tomorrow, and other than that, I'm glad I came here. I really didn't want to come at first, and I think it was my sister that pushed me forward to come here and to come and share some of my experiences of losing my loved one that was brutally murdered by a serial killer. We need a lot of organizations like this to reach out to communities and street people that have didn't move on with their life to a positive side. I've been in that lifestyle before. I was in that lifestyle for 20 years, and I thank the Creator that I'm here, and what I have to do to try to go to the positive side for my future, and that's my grandkids. And it's just overwhelming when I'm around here, and like I said, I'm kind of lost for a lot of words because part of me is kind of sad because the organization is leaving tomorrow. I became part of the organization. I feel part of it, and talking to people was one of the challenges that I sometimes had. Sometimes I'm kind of lost for words and stuff like that. But people need to know that when organizations they move on to communities raising awareness, it is very helpful. I experienced it myself being here, and I met some good people here, and they just I guess that's how it is. Life goes on, and I'm proud that I came here, and I'm proud that I'm part of this Walking with Our Sisters. Well, a lot of things that needs to be said and done. A lot of people need to start realizing that it takes a message to raise a message out there about awareness, because it is very important for people never to give up. I never gave up hope. Organizations like this is the one that motivates me and keeps me going. It is a good awareness. I'm glad that I was able to come around here and to share some of what I had to experience through my lifetime, through losing my loved one. And people, the organizations that they have with this Walking with Our Sisters, it's a very good organization, and like I'm very honored that it motivates, it goes on and on, that it hasn't given up hope. A lot of people have to understand that people get discouraged and frustrated. A lot of times they give up because they're not being heard, and people need to be heard. A lot of people feel that some people don't care, and some people, when they try to send the words out there, send a message, I do see part of that. A lot of people don't listen to those words and don't try to there is the reality of it gives families a lot of hope to go on with their life. And even though if a lot of people don't pay attention to awareness like this, and a lot of people, as the organization goes on to communities raising awareness against missing murdered women that are being brutally murdered. Those are the number one things that people have to take serious, because it can happen to anybody. When I used to walk around out there in the street life, when I was living out there for how many years, I used to always think that, that things like that would never hit my community, it would never hit one of my loved ones, and it did. And that's where I had to start realizing that there is a lot of problem out there, and something needs to be done about it. In organizations like this that try to carry a message across the communities to communities, nations to nations, to raise their powerful voices, because people like that don't give up hope, the only things that keeps them going is the power and the energy and the knowledge. I have learned a lot from my sister's death, and it keeps me going through my life, through my journey. It made me strong. Organizations like this that I come here, and when I leave that door, I leave here with a positive feeling, and knowing that an organization is still going to continue on communities to raise awareness and violence to our loved ones, and it does help.
That's great.
And even though like I don't like to it's pretty hard for me to say see you around, take care, and stuff like that. But it's the only thing that keeps me going is organizations like this and the creator that keeps me motivated and keeps me going. A lot of people, they need to realize that a lot of our people out there are still missing and have not been found in years and years and years. Imagine a person living through that kind of life is a very... I feel for people like that because they're not at peace. They can't have a peaceful life because their loved ones is still out there missing and hasn't been found yet. I do feel for families like that because they go through a rough life and not knowing where their loved one is. And it bothers me because it hit my family, and it's not a good life to wonder where your loved one is, or if she or he is still alive, and things go through the person's head a lot, not knowing that if they'll ever see their loved one again. That's what it hurts me a lot when I do talk to some people and their families are still missing and hasn't been found. It hurts me a lot because it's not knowing, especially for them, how hard they have to try and pick up to move on. It's a very hard life to live like that, and it's not a good life. And as myself, as experiencing through my healing years of journey, I picked up here and there. I get very frustrated at the system because those people, they don't realize how it affects a person's life, losing a loved one. They don't understand how it feels, and they don't understand how it affects a person. And so, therefore, I hope a lot of people do, as I've seen here, a lot of people come here to support this organization. I feel good about it, knowing that a lot of people care, and they come and show their support here, and I have a lot of respect for that when people come here and give their support and their respect. But the one message that I want to give out is that never give up. Even though the consequences that you have to hear, you have to know, and that's what I had to do before. Even though I didn't want to hear the news that my sister was brutally murdered, I never wanted to give up hope that she was murdered, and I had to go there. A lot of years as I tried to move on with my life, and I didn't want to let her go, and those are the hardest things that people have to challenge: letting go, being a person that's very bitter. But the age that I am right now, I know one of my sisters, I know what she's one of the biggest in my part of healing is her. And she's our guardian angel, and like I said, the message that I want to give out there is that people don't give up, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.